The fortune of the owner of the American company Tesla is now $198.6 billion, according to the Bloomberg Billionaires Index. The billionaire suffered losses due to the fall in Tesla shares for 4 days in a row. Quotes reached the lowest since October amid falling stock markets around the world due to the situation in Ukraine. In total, Musk has already lost $71.7 billion this year, which is more than the combined losses of the fortunes of the 3 richest people following him. The decline in the state was due to geopolitical tensions in Ukraine and more aggressive sentiments of central banks. Nevertheless, Elon Musk remains the richest man in the world. And he does not stop helping people from Ukraine. We will briefly remind you of the events of the previous week. The latest news is that the president of Ukraine Vladimir Zelensky on Saturday, March 5, phoned the head of Tesla and SpaceX Elon Musk and thanked him for his support. Elon gave Ukraine access to Starlink, and also sent them a truck with satellite dishes, and during the conversation Zelensky agreed on the delivery of another batch. These devices will allow you to access the internet via satellites in Earth orbit. There was also a discussion of possible prospects. We talked about space. In January, Ukraine launched its first satellite in almost 11 years with the help of SpaceX. SpaceX's Falcon 9 launch vehicle with 105 satellites, including the Ukrainian Sich-2-30, was launched from Cape Canaveral. The president invited Elon Musk to Ukraine when all this tense situation is over. Starlink will help cities not to lose internet connection due to the fact that the Russian army strikes at the infrastructure. Currently, internet access in Ukraine is stable. However, it is expected that over time, the speed and quality of the network will deteriorate. It is noted that Starlink can become a backup system for maintaining internet access for businesses, enterprises, the IT industry and government agencies. Elon Musk could also help Ukraine by blocking the Russian media, which have been engaged in political propaganda on the internet for a long time and very skillfully. Spreads rumors and disconfirms the people of Ukraine and the Russians themselves. People on Twitter asked Elon to block the Russian media, but Musk refused to block them in the global Starlink satellite communication system after the start of a military special operation in Ukraine. He said that the governments of some countries had made such a request to him, specifying that there was no Ukrainian among them. The billionaire called himself an absolutist in terms of freedom of speech and said he would do it only at gunpoint. At the same time, Musk warned about a change in SpaceX's priorities. The company will focus on cyber defense and overcoming signal interference. According to him, this will cause small delays in the launch of the Starship rocket and the Starlink V2 satellites. Against the background of the situation around Ukraine, a number of Western countries have excluded Russian state media from the broadcast grid. The head of Tesla could do the same as his colleagues from Mercedes, BMW, Volkswagen and other automakers to suspend production on the territory of the Russian Federation. The Russian car market has plunged into crisis. Due to economic sanctions and sharp fluctuations in the exchange rate, many manufacturers have suspended supplies and production in the country. Will Tesla stop supplying its electric vehicles to Russia? There is no information about this yet. Elon Musk previously did not rule out the possibility that the company could build a plant for the production of electric cars in Russia, but now this opportunity will not be. So Tesla cars will no longer be officially delivered and driven on Russian roads. But how far will the Tesla company itself go? After all, recently Elon Musk himself, who is seriously concerned about the problems of global warming, called for increasing oil and gas production. A well-known American businessman is ready to sacrifice his electric car manufacturing plant for the benefit of the United States. Musk admits that the growth of oil and gas production will negatively affect his Tesla electric car business. Prices for oil, gas and their refined products, including gasoline, are rising around the world due to the events in Ukraine. Musk acknowledged that the increase in production will have a negative impact on his Tesla electric vehicles. However, sustainable energy solutions simply cannot immediately compensate for Russian oil and gas exports, he said. This means that green energy is not able to instantly replace the Russian export of hydrocarbons. The United States is actively discussing the issue of banning purchases of Russian oil as part of sanctions for conducting a special military operation in Ukraine. The White House has so far opposed such a measure, arguing that it is fraught with a further increase in energy prices. The global market is experiencing stress and pressure. According to the consulting company Energy Aspects, about 70% of oil from Russia hardly reaches consumers, and one of the companies has not been able to make a deal for several days. Sanctions on raw materials from the Russian Federation have not been imposed, but buyers are looking for an alternative to Russian oil. Joe Biden has promised to impose sanctions against the Russian space program. According to him, the United States will block more than half of high-tech imports to Russia. This will deal a blow to their ability to continue to modernize the armed forces. This will harm their aerospace industry, including the space program, the politician said. The American leader added that this would also reduce Russia's ability to compete economically. Commenting on this statement by the American leader, Dmitry Rogozin recalled that the termination of U.S.-Russian cooperation on space could lead to the fall of the ISS. The fact is that the correction of the station's orbit is carried out by the engines of the Russian Progress Mississippi cargo ships. He also recalled that the United States had already blocked Russia's access to radiation-resistant microelectronics for space purposes, but this did not lead to a halt to the Russian space program. The head of Roscosmos, Dmitry Rogozin, criticized the sanctions against Russia on Twitter, and the head of SpaceX, Elon Musk, responded to him. According to Rogozin, the sanctions imposed, which also affect the space industry, may negatively affect the future security of the International Space Station, ISS. He asked knowledgeable people to explain to President Biden that the correction of the station's orbit, its avoidance of dangerous approaches to space debris, is carried out exclusively by the engines of Russian Progress Mississippi cargo ships. And if cooperation with Russia is stopped, then who will save the space station from an uncontrolled descent from orbit and falling to the planet? Perhaps even the United States of America itself. Elon Musk responded to these statements that his company SpaceX could do this. American businessman Elon Musk turned out to be on the side of the enemy, supplying Ukraine with equipment to provide access to broadband internet, said Dmitry Rogozin, Director General of Roscosmos. The group of Elon Musk, who defected to the enemy and provided subscriber equipment to the Ukrainian military, he accused the businessmen of helping Ukraine. As Rogozin noted, the new developments that Musk is implementing are also connected with the Pentagon. So he's been doing this for a long time. SpaceX is a Pentagon contractor. I've always talked about it. There's nothing like that here. They compensate the price of their Falcon 9 rocket at the expense of the amounts they receive from the Pentagon, the head of the state corporation explained. American businessman Elon Musk has been engaged in military space projects for a long time, and his company SpaceX is a Pentagon contractor, the head of Roscosmos said in an interview. He cited the idea of intercontinental rapid delivery of people as an example. Rogozin admitted that this idea is very beautiful, fantastic, but today, in order to put people in a rocket so that it flies from one continent to another, it will have to take enormous risks, similar to the first test of a military or civilian aircraft. Let them fly on their brooms. Roscosmos has taken new measures in response to Western sanctions. Elon Musk responded to the recent attack of the head of Roscosmos Dmitry Rogozin. The founder and CEO of SpaceX once again successfully teased the Russian official with a short and concise tweet of 2 words. American broom. So what is this broom on which you can pour into space? And this Falcon 9 rocket debuted a little more than 10 years ago. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, Please like and subscribe to the Tech Zone channel about Tesla news, Elon Musk and new technologies.